the truth embargo is going to end. Every loosening of the package that has taken place. Think of the truth embargo as a tightly wrapped package, and the strings are loosening, and the wrapping is slowly coming off. Every loosening of that,
every
package,
thread that comes
package is making it easier for people to step out, and they're going to, right? It's not like, this public facing structure that's being put up, this whole process underway, it's going fairly well. But the idea that the entire planet is on board, no, that's not the case. I'm obviously not on board. I'm going on media. I'll go on CNN and say everything I just said tomorrow.
Right.
I don't think that's going to hurt the process, but I want people to sort of understand the process. So, even before the TTSA emerged, Bob Bigelow went on 60 Minutes, said there's ETs here.
And he didn't care what anyone thought.
At the time, okay? And I'm sure the DOD is going, oh, Bob, why did you do that? And then other people have come forward and made statements that are clearly going to stimulate the process. National security, former CIA directors and Homeland Security guys and so forth are coming forward.
NASA astronauts.
And every statement they make, which any reasonable person can interpret as being supportive of this, is advancing the process. Well, Gary Nolan just went a little further. I mean, Gary is a pretty cool guy. I love Gary Nolan, and he's absolutely tenured and solid. Nothing is gonna, unlike what John Mack faced in the early 1990s, where Harvard, to its disgrace, did not treat him very well.
No.
Gary Nolan is solid at Stanford, and so he just goes on Tucker Carlson and says basically,
right? I mean, he's had his own experiences, and he knows this thing to be true. And he has Lou Elizondo kind of faded out of the public, as the public face of this, at least championing it. Gary kind of stepped up for a moment.
He stepped in. Others could do that at any time. There's going to be more Gary Nolan stuff, but again, in other words, this is an irreversible process now. There's no way we're going to go backwards on this.
So the government will not backstep this.
Well, yeah, if you're some holdout at the DOD thinking, look, we can still get the truth embargo back. We can put it back together again. We can hold on to this, all those classified programs. No, because there's going to be more Gary Nolans. They're going to assess the situation, go, hey, screw this. I'm going on this show, that show. And so now the downside of this is that when somebody like Gary Nolan says what he says, he's confirming what I just told you.
Right.
That the government has known about this for 70 years. So that's kind of adding to the cognizant dissonance, right?
Okay.
In other words, he's saying that, then why isn't the Department of Defense saying that? And I understand that. But understand, everything that's going on right now is not about, can we discover what this phenomena is by passing some bills and setting up an office and doing this or that? Right. No, they already know what the phenomena is. This is setting up the public-facing structure that they should have done all along and getting ready for what's coming and show the flag and do the right thing, all right? And in order to do that, though, they can't say things like what Gary Nolan has said,
right,
or what Bigelow has said, or even Tim Burchett has said. Right?
Yeah,
he basically went on One Nation and said there's extraterrestrials here. So they can't do that. And here's the other message that I think they're getting, and I'm happy to remind them, is that I understand you can't say that, but you need to keep the ball rolling here because it's going to get worse and worse. Right?
Yeah, and they're going to look dumber and dumber the further this goes.
It's just going to get more awkward. So, get it going. Let's get these hearings going and move on. And then you'll have, but until that happens, there's going to be another Gary Nolan's going to turn up, go on CNN or MSNBC or whatever, and basically say there's extraterrestrials here. And that's going to aggravate people. And they're going to say, well, wait a minute. Right? By the way, there's a video that just came out of Oki Shannon, who was mentioned in the Davis notes. Yep. And basically he confirmed, I did get a call from Wilson and essentially went a long ways to confirming that those notes are legit. Well, you read the Wilson Davis notes and what do you learn? Yeah, you learn that the government's known about the ET presence since the 40s. So again, there's this dynamic going on, which frankly would not have been that difficult to resolve. I mean, it's a difficult problem, but the government has resources. It has geniuses and supercomputers.
Yeah, everyone at their disposal.
But they have been trying to execute this rather difficult dynamic. While political chaos is descending on our country and in Washington in a way I've never seen in my lifetime. Mm-hmm. The worst plague pandemic in history, possibly, certainly the worst since 1918,
right,
descends on us, and Putin launches a war in Ukraine. That's, a
recipe for disaster.
It's like, if they pull it off, and I will be happy to point out that if we actually get to hearings in the next couple months, which I think we can, and we get to disclosure, I'm going to be the first person to stand up and say, I can't believe you pulled it off. I can't believe you did it. Right. It took longer than we wanted, but by God, you got this done while all of that was going on. And let me tell you, the United States government doesn't have a reputation now for getting things done. I mean, it is actually a meme. Nothing gets done. Everything is put off. Everybody's unhappy. Nobody likes the Congress. Everybody hates everybody. And so for them to accomplish this isn't like just getting a bill passed finally that was tough. This is making not only our legislative branch, but within our military intelligence community, to make a maneuver that ultimately ends the truth embargo, and doing it in the middle of three very, very profound crises that are literally happening at the same time. This is accomplishment. I mean, this is gold medal stuff, right? And they should get gold medals and hang it on every single person that's been involved.
Yeah,
this is going to help renew the public's belief that government can do things. It can
accomplish,
respond to major things, and get things done in behalf of not just the American people, but the human race. And that would be a good thing. I mean, we could use a little of that.
And we've already seen this issue become more bipartisan than anything. And that speaks volumes that this, is all of a sudden, even COVID became political in a sense, completely, both sides tried to use it to their advantage. But we're seeing a collective amongst government for disclosure, which is good.